right, welcome to a quick episode of the podcast from
super quick.
Yeah, super quick.
Quick and easy.
1 minute, dare I say?
You're an intelligent man.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so for those of you who aren't aware, Screw Attack released a new 1 minute melee against characters that were strongly desired for a while in a death battle, but 1 minute melee, I guess, is pretty close.
1 minute melee, for those who don't know, is made by the animators of Death Battle.
Yeah, they just got too much free time on their hands.
I guess so. Oh, they just really love to do draw characters beating each other up. So they had like this little sideshow, and they're very specific about it. It's only 60 seconds. There's
no research.
It's not a death battle.
So you shouldn't get balls out mad.
But they always do.
But they do. Like Luffy beat Naruto, I think.
Oh my god, you thought the world was coming to an end.
Yeah, like that happened. Like, I'm going and hiding.
I know, right?
Like, it was no research. Okay, so anyway, they released Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII and Kingdom Hearts versus Virgil from Devil May Cry 3 and probably 4.
Probably 4.
So.
Before we start, though, I have to say, the thumbnail is very inaccurate.
Oh, it is?
Because the thumbnail has Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII, but for some reason they used the Virgil from DMC.
Oh. I guess they did it on purpose. I guess it doesn't matter.
I guess not.
I mean, Virgil's Virgil.
Yeah, I guess so. So, well, I like the setup for 1 minute melee. It like starts off with like a select screen.
Character select.
Which is clever. I enjoy that. I thought that's kind of cute.
Then you see like characters in the roster you wish you would have seen instead.
Well, there's a roster. Well, they're like give you like little previews of characters that might be showing up in future 1 minute melees. One of them is Roy Kenshin.
Plausible.
He's in there, so he's gonna be used, I think. Sora is one of the characters that haven't been used yet, so
like Sora versus Kid Icarus would probably be fun.
Yeah. So they selected Virgil versus Sephiroth.
So yeah, the fight went on 1 minute.
It took place in like a meadow.
Yeah.
Sephiroth just kind of standing in the middle of the meadow, being Sephiroth. You know, just kind
lamenting, I guess.
Lamenting. Then Virgil goes walking by. Then
they start recycling lines from games. Like, they use the line from Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, that's an interesting sword you're carrying.
And Virgil's like, I'm bored. Goes after him.
So yeah, they just go at it. And
you know, first off, the fight was really... most of these fights are done using sprites.
It wasn't the fight that was really good. It was the pixelated characters.
They were really
well detailed.
They were really, really nice. Yeah, very well detailed.
The sprites of the characters. They were really well done. And that's what people really liked the most. And I can't disagree.
Right.
The fight was but yeah, I really liked the sprites.
You didn't care too much for the fight itself?
Well, it's 60 seconds. I mean, you're not going to show a lot in 60 seconds.
That's the thing. I guess also the drawback of the show is that you can't really show these characters at their full potential because again, you're restrained to just 60 seconds. And that's why people are saying, "Why didn't he use Heartless Angel? Why didn't he do this?"
No, why didn't he do any of those attacks that would guarantee victory?
I think it's two things. One is the time limit, and the other is I think limitations on the animations themselves.
Possibly.
You know, because we don't know if they have the sprites to actually show that or not. Yet, right? Exactly. Well, in the end, Virgil won, but he won.
Using double trigger?
Using double trigger. He, like, stabbed Sephiroth up against a tree or something, and then kind of walked away, like, rest in peace.
Yeah, blew him up or something.
But then the big moment happened afterwards.
Sephiroth, bleeding, said, we'll meet again.
Yeah.
Which I think is hinting at that being the next death battle.
I don't think it's going to be the next one, though, because we're already going to have a Final Fantasy VII character being used with Tifa and Yang. I think they're going to spread that out, unfortunately, which is sad because I'd actually rather see a death battle between Virgil and Sephiroth than Tifa and Yang. I hope that it does become a death battle one time because it deserves to be a death battle. I mean, these characters...
Well, people have been asking for it for a long
powers.
time. You go into the comments, and Sephiroth and Virgil were definitely among the top-tier characters.
Right.
So I'm sure it's going to be a death battle because I don't think that they would just put Sephiroth saying that we'll meet again for no reason. Especially knowing how some of these have worked. Like, we already had Dan and a Hercule who started in a 1 minute melee get their death battle treatment.
Right.
Not long after they did it.
Right.
So I think it's pretty obvious that this is a setup for the real death battle.
I hope so. Because I like both characters a lot. And they're both crazy powerful. And they deserve to go at it for a few minutes. Now the question is, who would win?
Virgil is definitely F-off strong. And I don't know. There's
because you hear arguments from both sides, and it really is kind of hard to
like I know both characters pretty well. Like Sephiroth hands-on is also pretty deadly too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I guess it really depends on what they're allowing Sephiroth to have. Are they going to give him like his final-ish forms from the final boss fights from FF7, where he can chuck meteors that destroy planets at you? And as powerful as you think that is, you can live through it.
Surprisingly.
Surprisingly, you can live through it if you're high level enough.
All right.
What will Heartless Angel do? It's tough to say. I want to give a little bit more on the Sephiroth side, just because his powers lean a little bit more on the BS side, because he's got moves that take your health down to nothing.
Right.
He's got a long sword.
Virgil's just got Virgil also has, just like his brother Dante, have so many moves in his moveset.
Virgil's more of a comboist, really.
He really is. His Devil Trigger, of course, gives him a huge boost in power. So I don't know. I mean, it really is kind of a tricky one to say. That's what makes it so interesting, because they both are extremely powerful. So it's very hard to say. Other than Dante versus Bayonetta, I think Virgil versus Sephiroth is another one I'm really looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, because it's really just not so easily.
Right.
You can't really pick and be like, oh, it's no competition, because you think about it, and if you know these characters and you know what they can do, it's pretty insane.
Right.
Because even though we don't technically see Sephiroth do a lot of the comboist stuff that Virgil can do, because his games are limited to turn-based, and he rarely shows up as it is. Whenever he does make a scene, though, it's pretty impressive.
He's just got so many crazy powers in his wheel bag.
Yeah, like your real only source for seeing how well he can fight is Advent Children, just to see how fast he can move. Because every other time
you fought him in Crisis Core.
Yeah, you fight him in Crisis Core, but again, you got to remember the gameplay is limited to like a lazy Kingdom Hearts style, so he can't really go beyond much of that either.
Yeah, another thing too is that you think about Kingdom Hearts and his tax moves he has in there.
So yeah,
which they showcased a little bit in this fight. But.
So yeah, he's got like fire pillars that can come out of the ground, which are BS. He's got the Heartless Angel, which will take your health down to 1.
Right.
And from there he can knock you out. He's got a lot of he's a force to be reckoned with.
I had to level up all the way to level 93 or 5 to beat him as Sora in Kingdom Hearts 2. I was determined. I'm like, I'm gonna get you. They're kicking my ass.
Then you find out in the final mix version there's someone even harder.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I love how after Sora's like, "How's that?" and you see Sephiroth, all he's doing is just dusting himself off. You were very skilled.
I suppose you're all right.
Like, oh, sheesh.
But only Cloud is the one who can eliminate me, and he's not really good at that.
Yeah, he has no idea.
Cloud's not even good at it. So yeah, what does that say for Cloud? Sephiroth is Cloud's main enemy, and even Cloud's not really good at beating him. Like he can fight him off and fend him off, but you just can't put Sephiroth down. That's the one thing that I'm kind of leaning towards in Sephiroth versus Virgil, because unlike Virgil, you can't really put Sephiroth down. He's gonna come back.
That's true.
Like, think about all the ways Sephiroth has been killed. He was stabbed by Cloud in Nibelheim and thrown into the live stream. He came back from that. He was beaten by Cloud again in the live stream when at the end of Final Fantasy VII's game. He came back. He was beaten at the end of Advent Children, and he came back in Kingdom Hearts.
Well, in any event, like I said, I really like both characters, and playing as Virgil in Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, face it, that's the reason you got the game. You want to play as Virgil, and yeah, I played that sucker as Virgil, and you can make an argument he's just as fun, if not more fun, than Dante, Yamato, and Beowulf.
Yeah, but Virgil, I think, can be put down, because we know that after he lost in Devil May Cry 3, in Devil May Cry 1, he became Nello Angelo. Pretty sure he did.
Yeah. I really don't know. It's a tough one to call. I'll have to listen to the research and see.
And there's really not a lot of detail given in Devil May Cry 4 to really guess why he's living now and here.
I think that was more of a prequel. I think that showed like the events, because I know that he is Nero's father, and so I guess this kind of shows him meeting his girl. And
well, that's just it, because Devil May Cry 4, it's not a prequel to Devil May Cry 1.
Well, no, his story was. His part of the story did take place before.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's just off-putting because his levels are basically just Nero's levels.
That's true.
That's what confuses it.
That's true, and I don't blame you.
Like, yeah, I can. I can buy Virgil's story being a prequel that takes place before, like, maybe before Devil May Cry 3.
Yeah, the gameplay levels are just there for fun. It's just the things that kind of confirm is like the beginning and the end scene, and that's about it. Thanks, Capcom.
Yeah, because that's confusing.
Right.
Okay, so Devil May Cry 4, Virgil, we have to agree that takes place before Devil May Cry 3.
Right. Just maxed out all abilities. I don't know. I mean, Virgil's gonna need every bit of trick he has in the bag, but who knows? Maybe.
And Virgil's not unstoppable either. Like,
no.
Virgil comes off as more of the Genesis to the Sephiroth. Like, where he's powerful, but he's not as powerful as Sephiroth. Because, like, Genesis was, like, the main villain of Crisis Core. And he's powerful, but he wasn't as powerful as Sephiroth.
I mean, Sephiroth is almighty. We've seen Sephiroth at his full potential.
Have we? Like,
maybe. You know, it's I don't know.
Plus, you got to remember, they're remaking Final Fantasy VII. So, what...
You know, and I think that's what they're waiting for. I think when Final Fantasy VII hits... then that's when they'll do the death battle.
That's quite a long time to wait, though.
Is it? Do we know when it's gonna come out?
Well, you know, Square Enix and how much they love to take their time with Final Fantasy games.
Well, I think death battle will still be around then, and well, I just think marketing, that's what they're gonna do, because that seems like what they do with these death battles. A death battle comes out for a reason, you know.
Oh, for money.
Yeah, for money. Well, yeah, Raiden fought Wolverine because Metal Gear Solid 5 just came out, and they're doing this.
Which was weird, because Raiden had nothing to do with Metal Gear 5. He's
Metal Gear, so yeah. So that's what I think. Anyway, I think it'd be interesting. Go check out the 1 Minute Melee. It's cute. It's fun. It's quick. And hopefully we'll see a full death battle of it.
Yeah.